All right. Hey, everybody. We are live. It is episode 26. So this is the what? This is the 6-month anniversary.
This is a milestone. It's our 6 months, 26 weeks in a row without missing a single week. So
Yeah, and I think people might
Whoa.
have just caught me with me and my glorious beard before I remembered to shut off my camera. So, well, anyways, welcome everybody. It is April 29th. As we said, it's episode 26. So we're gonna dive right in.
yeah, and by the way, we're gonna edit out that very beginning shot of you, Adam, with the beard and everything, and we're gonna make that part of the highlight reel for these past 6 months. So,
We'll make it the thumbnail.
so what's up, everybody? This is Bradley, and we've got Adam and Hernan and Marco on with us once again. We're missing our developer, who is not a figment of our imagination, I swear. So anyways, we got a lot of questions to go through today, and so I guess we'll kind of get right into it. The only announcement that I know of is, I think, what you posted earlier today, Adam. You want to talk about that briefly, because I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure exactly what you said in it.
No. Yeah, everybody, we're obviously talking about the Done For You network. So the network builds we do with the IFTTT networks. So far, it's been kind of a pre-launch. It's a service we offered and we wanted to offer, and it's been working out well. So we're going good, but we are going to be taking that public. So far you guys have been getting a great price on those, and it's not going to stop being a great price, but there is going to be a price increase a week from today. So when we take that public at 6 p.m. next Wednesday, there will be a price increase. So you probably got an email today saying that, so we just want to let everyone know ahead of time. So if you're thinking about it, if you're not sure, if you're going through the IFTTT training and you think it might be taking a little bit too much of your time, then I highly suggest you take advantage of it in the next week.
That's right, and guys, it's not going to be a huge price increase, but it is going to be a slight price increase, and that's because we're going public. You guys have been getting, we haven't gone public with these. I mean, we haven't been promoting these anywhere other than within our communities and our groups. So, but we're going to start advertising them in some of, like Black Hat forums and some of that other stuff, and driving more traffic into the funnel, and the demand is going to go up. And it's simple supply and demand, basic economics, right? So we're going to raise the price a little bit. But however, we are going to work something out with our MasterMIND members, which, guys, hey, membership has its privileges. So you guys already know that as MasterMIND members, you get all of our additional training. If anything under $300, you're going to get included in a MasterMIND. All of our other membership levels, all of those get included in MasterMIND. If you're a MasterMIND member, the pricing that you see today will remain that way, okay, for you guys that are MasterMIND members. But for everyone else, it's going to go up slightly, and that's just, again, simple supply and demand, okay?
Yeah.
So,
but again, for what you're getting, it's not a big deal. But
That's
All
right.
right.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to go ahead and take the screen, and we're going to jump right into questions because we got a ton of them already, and that's good. So let's get right into it. And we're going to start at the bottom as we always do, guys. Just keep that in mind when we post the events page, and we're not always 100% consistent on when we post the events page, and we're trying to become more consistent with that. But make sure you get your questions in early, because I know everybody likes to come in last minute and post your questions, and then when they don't get answered, there's like a scramble. So if you try to get them done ahead of time, it'll give us plenty of time to get,
Yeah, we'll say for now we're aiming for Fridays. So by the evening and Friday, East Coast time, we're generally going to have these up. I'm not giving you a 100% guarantee, but there's like a 95% chance. So definitely by the weekend we'll have it up, and you can start posting questions.
And just remember that you can go to semanticmastery.com/hump day, which should bring you to the most current event. If we haven't posted the new events page yet, it'll take you to the one that, whatever one we just completed. If we have updated the new event, that link will take you to the new events page where you can leave your questions. And also, in case you ever forget it, just go to semanticmastery.com. There's a notification bar across the top of the website that you can click. It'll take you right over to this page. Okay. Cool. So Scott says, I need a tool screen to display my online tools for easy reference, kind of like a homepage for very frequently used tools, places my bookmarks are getting out of control. Scott?
I took a stab at that, but
yeah.
And right above it, but maybe you've got something better.
No, because I mean I've got look at my bookmarks. So it just honestly I don't have anything for you, Scott. I'm sorry.
Well, Scott, I suggest taking a look at StarDoc. It's a free 30-day trial. You can check it out. it may be what you're looking for, it may not. It's more of a, well, it's kind of like it says, it's fences. It just organizes stuff automatically on your desktop, but you can also customize it. So I find it handy for just organizing the really important stuff that you want on your desktop.
I've got nothing for you, Scott.
You can see the icons on Bradley's background.
the only thing that I can say is that I use Xmarks, which is also like it's a sister company or part of LastPass, which I couldn't live without LastPass. But let's Xmarks. The only reason why I'm even going to point this out is because Xmarks will sync your bookmarks across all of your devices and all of your browsers and everything else. Whatever you connect to Xmarks will sync all of your bookmarks, and I think that's incredibly useful. So it's part of the LastPass company, which again I don't know how I ever survived before LastPass.
Yeah, what's the other one? Oh, RoboForm.
Yeah, RoboForm. Right, RoboForm is similar to LastPass. I think LastPass is like a newer, a newer application, and I switched to that probably 2.5, maybe 3 years ago now, and I've been using it ever since. So. Xmarks.com, guys. That's the only bookmark manager I know of. That's the only one I use. So.
Yeah, and lately Chrome has changed its bookmark interface, and I'm kind of lost that way. So Xmark will do.
That's fine. What all these are up here is Xmarks, Yeah. So, and I like it because, like I said, it'll sync with everything else. So.
Yeah.
Scott, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
For anyone that's on Windows, if they want to organize their desktop, all they have to do is right-click and then put everything in briefcases.
Right, I've seen those. I've never used. I always wondered what they were for. Never used one. So.
Cool.
Okay, I noticed that Buffer now supports posting to Pinterest. Yeah, I saw that. The big notification bar across the top of Buffer. I am setting up an IFTTT recipe to post from Flickr to Buffer, and then hoping Buffer will post to Pinterest. The missing part is where you choose which board to post to. Maybe this has to be done manually within Buffer, or maybe set up a Pinterest account with no boards, just bulk entries, if that's even possible. Anyone else playing with this syndication idea? I do not. Anybody on?
Yeah, I would just try it. I mean, you have to set up. I thought you had to set up a board, but maybe you could try setting up one, see if it works. Set up two, and see if you can pick, or see. I'd just start playing around with it.
Yeah, that's what I would suggest, Scott. Because honestly, I think I've only logged into Pinterest about 3 times in my entire life. It's just not something I've done. I know there's massive SEO value in there. It's just not something I ever did. So I really know nothing. Once again, I've got nothing for you, Scott.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, Bradley. As a workaround, you can also use this plugin just for Pinterest. You can also Snap Social Network Auto Poster.
You want to drop the link up top?
For sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll drop it on the events page, and you can use that. And I know that it interfaces with Pinterest, and it will allow you to post to different boards. But I don't know about IFTTT.
Good point. I forgot about that. That is, yeah, you can go direct. But I think, he's trying to interface Flickr to Buffer. But so there's got to be a way to do that. A picture to a picture service. So there's something.
You just got to play with it. Frank Thomas says, I have a question for Hump Day. Can we take just a few minutes to explain all the different Google web properties we sign up with in setting up an IFTTT network and what links we should be using? I've gone through the instructions, but to be honest, I'm still a bit confused. More specifically, there seems to be a Google Plus page, a Google Plus profile, a business page, and whatever else. Okay, that's actually a really valid question, Frank, so I'd be happy to explain. All right, so your Google profile, that's what you sign in with, right? So like when you, like for example, Frank Thomas, I'm sure you have your Google Plus profile, right? You see that here. So for example, let's do this. Let's go over to Google Plus for a minute, and I'll show you some examples of what I'm talking about. All right, so a profile is going to be when you, like for example, when you create a Google account, you have to create the account as a profile. It's a profile that you're creating, right? Because you have to have an identity. So it's a person, a first name, last name, male or female, birth date, all of that stuff. So you have to be a person. So that's a profile. So like for example, Bradley Benner, that's my profile. Business pages, there's 2 different types of business pages really. There's two main categories. There is a local page and a business page. A local page is a page that has a physical address. So a storefront. When you go to set up a page, in fact, we could probably walk through that very quickly. But I want to point out a couple things before we do that. Let's just say, for example, in masterclass later today, we're going to be doing an example about we're going to be talking about funnels and setting up prospecting funnels. But for example, so you can see the difference in profiles and pages is if we do a search in Google Plus for something and we go over to people and pages, you'll see the difference here is for any page that shows a plus follow button, that's a page. If you guys get that, and then if you see where it says plus add, that's a profile. And the difference is a business page is supposed to be a page that's set up for a business. And again, there's two main types of business pages. There's a storefront, which would be a local page, one that has a physical address attached to it. So that's something that you could manage through not only Google Plus, but you can also manage it through Google My Business, right? So, for example, and then there's a business page, and a business page is like a Facebook fan page, which they don't even call them Facebook fan pages anymore, but you know what I'm saying. It's essentially it's a social type of page, and the difference is that the local page has an address, but the business page will not, and so you can set that up as like that's what I just call a brand page. So, like if I went over here and I go to pages, and let's say that I want to get a new page, I'm going to click Get Your Page right here, and see the three different kinds here. There's storefront and service area, but these two are both local pages. Okay, the only difference here is one of them will have a physical. They both have physical addresses, but one of them will have a point of sale. In other words, you would display your physical address because people come to you. People come to that location to make a purchase or whatever, to buy services, whatever it may be. A service area business also has a physical address, but it does not display the address because it is the service contractor or the business goes to the customer locations, right? And so that's when they omit the address from the local maps, and it just shows like the phone number in the city. Does that make sense? But these are both local pages. And then there's a brand page, and a brand page is what we create most of the time for our IFTTT networks. The reason why is that with the local pages, now if you have an existing business and you have a local page, you want to connect that to your networks, okay, because you want to increase the authority of that page, and you still can connect IFTTT to it because there is what? There's a posts section. So for example, let me go back for a minute. Let me just show you. Like here is my local client consulting page, which I really do nothing with anymore, barely. But this right here is a local page. You can tell because look, it's got an address and a phone number attached to it right here. You see that? But there's also posts, right? And so you can still connect this to IFTTT, and whenever you post content to your blog or to your YouTube channel, it automatically syndicates to your page, right? And so you want to do that because it's going to increase activity on your page and everything else, and it will actually help it to rank in apps, believe it or not. So, but for a lot of the pages that we build with our IFTTT networks, they're brand pages. So if we go back to all pages again, I'll show you what I mean. Like here's one, like here. This is the one that we use for like doing a bunch of promotional videos and stuff like that. If we go take a look at this page, this one right here is not. See how there's no address here or no phone number? So this is not this is what's called a brand page. And the difference is here, if we take a look at this, on the About tab of either one of these guys, on a local page, you will see a map, right? And you'll see some contact information, but you will not have this section right here, which is the links section. That will not even be available on a local page. Plus, like I said, it will have a big map on the page. But a brand page does, and so that's why we use the brand pages, because we get to tie all of our accounts together. Does that make sense? Okay. So let me go back to the question because I know there was another part to that. So which should we be using? All right. Well, like I said, if you have a local business, your Google profile page, that just gives you, like if you're setting up a persona, that just gives you another location that you can tie all of your links together. So again, if we go back over to here and we go over to, let's do this. Come on. Okay, so this is going to show you my personal page, my Bradley Benner page, right? If we go over to the About tab, you can fill out all this information, which, guys, by the way, you know you can put links in your descriptions, your introductions in your descriptions. You see that? Like here for the How-To SEO, this is a brand page. You can see that I've got links in here. See that? Then the same thing for my own personal, my own personal profile page.
They are not followed, but they are
doesn't
really
matter.
powerful.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
And here's the link section of my profile page, right? And so when you set up a persona, we teach that in the IFTTT course, right? That we add all of our links, we interlink everything together on the profile about page and also on the business about page. Keep in mind that's a brand business page. A local business page will not have that ability, but you still have the persona or the profile page, that you can do that. You still have the YouTube channel, you still have Gravatar, still have all of those other places that you can interlink your properties. So again, if you have a local business or a already, and then I suggest you connect that local business page to your network. If that makes sense, okay? Let's see. Back to the questions.
Cool. I think next one is Brian.
Yeah, there really isn't anything else for that, Frank. So that's it. There's really those three kinds. There's profile page and then business page, which could be also a local page. So those are your three kinds. So hopefully that was clear enough. Brian says, PBN question, I hear some people link straight to the money site and some people link to a Tumbler or Weebly, Web 2.0. Why do you recommend linking to Web 2.0 if the PBN is well-themed and secure? I don't. I mean, if it's well-themed, if the PBN is well-themed and if it has a good, clean link profile, inbound link profile, then you can link directly to your money site. If you're good at hiding your footprint and everything else. I have a lot of PBNs that I've had for years that aren't necessarily the best. That I don't link directly to money sites because I'll link to my IFTTT networks instead, or I'll build supplemental Web 2s and link to them as buffer sites. Does that make sense? It's just a way to buffer it so that you're not linking directly to your money site because at some point the PBN could get hit or could be marked as spam, whatever. And if that's the case, then you're going to end up affecting your money site negatively. So I like to use buffer sites as much as possible because essentially it's a switch box. Like Terry Kyle, he calls it switchbox SEO, and it's a great term because that's exactly what it is. Essentially, you're putting switches in between your links, like your inbound links. You put a switch in the middle, and a switch could just be a buffer, right? A Web 2.0 property could be Tumbler, it could be Weebly, it could be WordPress, it could be anything. But the fact is that if something happens where that inbound link juice that you're pushing to your money site becomes, it becomes harmful to your site for whatever reason. Let's say Google changes their algorithm tomorrow, and you've gone out and you've built 300 backlinks direct to your money site. You have no control over those backlinks now. So now you've got to go set up you got to contact the website owners and ask them to remove the link, or you got to set up a disavow file. But if you have built all of your links to Weeblys that you have control over, or Tumblers, or 301 redirect domains, now you have a point where you can open that switch, right? You can remove that link juice like that because you have that control. And so that's why I like to do what I do, because I don't like linking directly to my money site with something I don't have control over. I'd rather build all my links to something I have control over, so that in the event that something changes and Google decides that all the links that I've built are no longer good, instead of if it hurts my site, I can just remove the links by opening the switch. Okay?
Right. If I can chime in on this, Bradley, I would say that we are also building. We are claiming the PBN sites as they were actual sites. They are not being hidden anymore. Like we had a persona and an IFTTT network or several, depending on the power of the PBN attached to them. So they are really, really clean. They look authoritative, and somebody's claiming the content that it's putting over there.
Mm-hmm.
That's for once, and also have in mind that if you're linking back from a PBN to a buffer site, to a Web 2.0, you can kill two birds in one stone. You can also rank the Web 2.0 because the link juice is still there.
That's right.
So you most likely will end up with 2-3 properties ranked, which is exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah, and again, it's about control. I just don't like, I mean, even if it's your own PBN and you have control over the links. Again, I would rather link directly to a Web 2 or something like that as a buffer site that has a little bit, it's a little bit cleaner in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I do have some PBNs that I link directly to money sites, but once again, they're really, really well themed, and they're they look more like regular websites. They're not an identifiable PBN. And you guys know you can spot a PBN from a mile away. There's a lot of people that are doing very poor jobs with their PBNs, and although they may still work, at what point does it become harmful, right?
Yep.
Okay,
right,
Brian.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, Bob was asking about last week's training. For anybody else, well, Bob, first of all,
I posted
Bradley,
the
and then
link.
I posted the links up there. But if anyone else is wondering where the bonus webinar from Friday is, just head over to our YouTube channel.
Yep.
And shameless plug, you should subscribe, of course. But if you ever miss something or you're not sure where the replay is, just go over to the YouTube channel and you can find it right there.
That's right. Yeah, just go right to the YouTube channel, guys. You'll see it right on the front page. So it's youtube.com/semantic mastery. Okay. Brian says, hey, Brad and team, I have an RSS feed created for my email marketing service, Get Response. So I thought that I would include it in my IFTTT syndication network. I was hoping to see a benefit from this. Unfortunately, it's been about a month, and Majestic has not picked up any backlinks yet. My site has not seen any extra traffic from this, so my question is, should I continue syndicating my Get Response RSS feed? Do you have any benefit? Do you see any benefit in doing this? Well, I mean, it can't hurt. So chances are Majestic's not going to pick it up unless you force Majestic to pick it up, which you can. I mean, we've talked about that several times. In fact, let me grab this real quick. Automated indexing backlink commando. I should have just asked you to do this, Adam. But if you want to take a look at, let's see, we have a. I don't know why our website's not showing up for that right up top, but here's the YouTube video for it. It's the same thing. Let me pause this real quick. And here, Adam, can you drop this on the top of the...
Yeah, sure.
And actually, we have a blog post on our website about it. In fact, Adam, if you could find that on the blog instead and drop the blog link in there, that would probably be better because we have links to the resources in the blog post.
Yeah,
it might be in the YouTube description too, to be honest with you. So, anyways. My point is there's a way to force Majestic to pick up those links, but honestly, if it's not, I don't see a reason why you'd want to stop it. I mean, there's probably SEO benefit in there. You're just not seeing it in the analysis tools yet. Okay. What do you think, Hernan? What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, it also depends on how active you are over there, because have in mind that the RSS feed gets activated every time. I know that Get Response has a high domain authority, you know, so yeah. I agree with you that it won't hurt, but it will also depend on how often you are activating. If you are sending an email every week, then that could work, and you may need to pump your IFTTT network a little bit. So yeah, it depends on a bunch of factors. I would keep on doing it if it makes sense for you and for your list, of course, and if the links that you are posting in there make sense as well. Yeah.
Rob R. says, hi all, I'm a new member and happy to discover a group that offers real value. Sweet, Rob. Thank you for that. When creating the Web 2.0 and social accounts to use with IFTTT to build out web ring tiers, is it best to create these accounts and pages manually, or do you recommend an automatic software? And is it best to create these accounts using personas and proxy IPs? Thanks. Yeah, Rob. If you have purchased IFTTT SEO Academy, you'll know that already, but I will cover that now. Yeah, absolutely. We do it manually. I don't recommend you. I recommend you do it yourself manually for like maybe 2 or 3 times tops, and then from that point forward you outsource it, which either you could buy networks from us, we provide that service to our specs, or you could hire your own VAs and train them how to do it. Honestly, that's what I did, and that's why we're able to provide those services to you guys now, because we've trained VAs to do it. It's not something I recommend that you spend your time doing. As far as do we use software to do it? No. And the reason why I found is that when using automated account softwares to create the accounts and stuff, they tend to get terminated a hell of a lot quicker. They don't have the longevity. And even if you do use a software to create the accounts, you still need to manually log in all the accounts to flesh out the profiles, which we, again, with what we teach, we really flesh out the profile. The persona has an identity, and all of the accounts get interlinked, which means there's a manual part to adding the links to all the properties. There's a full bio, a photo, basically a history.
Yeah, we're really picky when fleshing them out.
Yep. And so even if you have an automated account creation tool or whatever software program that does that for you, then there's still a heavy manual aspect to it. So instead, we just create everything manually, and that's just what we found over time. And I've been doing this for many years now, and it's just worked out best that way. Okay, so that's why we do it. Is it best to create these accounts using personas and proxy IPs? Yeah, we do. A lot of our students, I use proxies just because my VAs are in the Philippines and they're the ones that do it, so I just buy US proxies for them. But a lot of our students that are building their networks themselves instead of outsourcing it are using VPNs now. Some of our students, like Michael Bose, he uses Viper VPN. There's also private internet access. There's several VPNs out there that you can use that from people that are still building them themselves. They say those are better than proxies. I can't speak on them because I don't use them, but
yeah, it depends on your use too, right? I mean, this isn't exactly a real scenario, but if you're building 10 networks a day from one IP, you're going to want proxies.
Yeah.
You know,
or
if
you're going to want a VPN.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're, doing something kind of low key, it's not much an issue.
Yeah, like what we do with our proxies, Rob, is I allow my VAs to build 2 accounts, like open 2 Google accounts, for example, on per IP per 24-hour period, which means if they've got 5 proxies, then on day 1 they can open 2 Google accounts on proxy 1. On day 2 they can open 2 Google accounts on proxy 2. On day 6 they can open 2 more Google accounts on proxy number 1. Does that make sense? We just cycle through our proxies and we don't ever go above 2 in a 24-hour period. You could probably get away with it, but I found that a lot of times that'll flag the phone verification and all that stuff where it won't do that if you're doing only 2 per IP per 24-hour period. If that makes sense. By the way, speaking of that, again, if you're going to be using proxies and stuff, you got to make sure you clear your browser and know how to do it correctly, and also set your time zone to match your proxies. And you have to do that with change your computer time zone. Check your proxy connection with whoer.net, WHOER.net. Because you want to make sure that you're not leaving any, evidence that you're going through a proxy, or there's mismatch in time zones, that sort of thing, because that can flag your account. Okay. And again, all that's covered in the training in the IFTTT SEO Academy. Okay. Let's see who's next. Travers Smith.
Yep.
Could we take a few minutes in Hump Day Hangout to review secondary tier 1 networks if I'm using a primary tier 1 network branded for a niche, say Veterinary Emergencies? Now Bradley says secondary T1 are always persona networks, so would I then just create a new G+ page with a new YouTube channel for a secondary tier 1, say Veterinary Emergencies 2, and use a different graphic? Or can I use the same Google account, or would the secondary T1 be a different Google account? Are persona networks always a different Google account? Yes, Travers, yes they are. They're always different accounts, and that's because of a footprint issue. I have a 1-to-1 ratio. Okay, does that make sense? It's 1 Google account per network, and I keep it that way. Now, if they're tier 1 networks, if they're branded networks that I have to frequent often myself, like I have to manage them, then I will add myself, Bradley Benner, as a page manager so that I can log into multiple networks from my own account without having to change IPs and all of that other stuff. But as far as the IFTTT networks, they're owned at a 1-to-1 ratio. In other words, there's 1 persona owns 1 network, and all of the accounts within that network, it's all tied to that 1 account, that 1 Google account. If I have 5 networks, there's 5 personas. Period. End of story. It's just
Hey, Bradley.
Go ahead.
For any of the new people that are listening in, that are listening to this question, or listening to you answer this question, because it's kind of involved. This is what we teach in IFTTT SEO Academy. It's more of the advanced strategies that we teach. So Adam, sorry if that sounds like a shameless plug. It really isn't. It's what we teach and what you can get on the inside. So give them the URL where they can sign up if this is what interests them.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, but so just to answer your question, like I said, it's 1 Google account per network. Is the only difference between a secondary tier 1 and a tier 2 is that T1 has the YouTube channel as a trigger point versus another blog? I'm confused. Okay, Travers, no, because listen, secondary tier 1 networks are still triggered by the same point. In other words, if you have, again, it's okay to do secondary tier 1 networks for YouTube channels. I don't recommend doing that for blogs at all. If you are going to do it for blogs, you have to treat them as tier 2 networks. In other words, you have to have additional content being posted to them other than just your own blog's content. So that's why I don't recommend doing that. Honestly, I don't even do those secondary tier 1 networks for my own stuff, for website or blog syndication. For YouTube channels, go to town. You can get nuts with it. It doesn't matter. But the idea of secondary tier 1 networks is the fact that they're triggered from the same location. So let's say you have a YouTube channel and you have your branded network, which is going to obviously be triggered by your YouTube channel. Let's say now you want to add 4 secondary tier 1 networks, which just means that they're posted to directly from your YouTube channel, right? Then it's your branded YouTube channel that's going to connect to those networks. Does that make sense? So in other words, you just log into your persona number 1, for example. You log into that IFTTT account, make sure that your browser's clean, log into that IFTTT account, and then log into your page using the page login, which again is covered in the training, but use the page login to log into that YouTube channel, and then you're going to connect that channel to IFTTT so that when you post to your branded YouTube channel, it's going to also syndicate to persona number 1 network. Okay? So it's the same trigger point. That's what I'm trying to get at. Okay? And again, that's a great question. If you want any more clarification on that, post that in the Facebook group, because there's lots of other people in there that can help you with that as well.
Cool.
Scott, hey Scott, a question about sitemap plugins. I'm using the Yoast SEO plugin, and I have disabled the sitemap feature. To replace that, I'm using Google XML sitemap plugin. I'm not sure why you're doing that, Scott. That's just an added plugin. If you have the Yoast XML sitemap, you ought to probably just be using that so that you can eliminate the additional plugin. My hosting company reminds me with a message that there could be a conflict. Yeah, there could be. What sitemap plugin should I use? Let's see, again, I recommend just going with the Yoast sitemap plugin. There's a ton of options in there. I don't really understand why you would want to use a different one. It's just an additional plugin, and it can cause conflicts and things like that. So I would recommend eliminating the Google XML sitemap plugin and use the Yoast XML sitemap feature. Okay? And again, there's a ton of options in there, so you can really fine-tune your sitemap to what you want.
Mm-hmm. I've had, in the past, I have had some issues with the Yoast XML sitemap plugin. That's as a side note. So in some cases, but these were for really, really big sites. So in some cases, you may need a second option. If that's the case, then I would recommend
Better WordPress.
Yeah, that's the one. Exactly.
Yep. Better WordPress sitemaps. If you go to
yeah, I'll find it.
Yeah, plugin repository or the plugin directory in WordPress, and you search for Better WordPress sitemaps. That's a good one, because that for like really big sites and stuff, you're going to want the sitemap to cache so that it doesn't, because otherwise every time the sitemap builds, it's hard on the server. And so for big sites, that's one thing. And also I think where Hernan, you've also might have seen is sometimes it'll Yoast sitemap will clash with other plugins. It'll conflict, or a theme for that matter. Sometimes it's a theme conflict.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so. But it usually, it happens 98 of the cases you will be fine with Yoast XML sitemap feature. If not, you just have a couple of options, but
that's right.
It's rare. Yeah.
But if you're going to use a supplement, like an additional sitemap plugin, then I would recommend using Better WordPress sitemaps. Should I be using a video sitemap plugin as well? Yeah, you should. The only thing is I haven't really found any of them that work that well, other than the Yoast one, which is expensive. I know there's a Google XML video sitemap too, but it's not very good. It doesn't work. It doesn't really produce the do what it's supposed to, in my opinion. I haven't used it in a while because I have the Yoast video sitemap plugin, and I know it is expensive, but you can find places where you can get it for less expensive than advertised, I can tell you that. Should I invest in that or use Google XML video sitemap plugin? Again, if you don't want to spend the money, then you can just go with the Google XML video sitemap plugin. It's better than nothing. Okay? And can I also use a normal sitemap and a video sitemap at the same time? Yes, because it's going to be a different slug. It's a different URL. Does that make sense? So you're going to have usually a sitemap index, and then you're going to have a post sitemap, a page sitemap, a video sitemap. There could be a category sitemap, a tag sitemap. All of that is usually definable within the plugin settings, whatever kind of sitemap plugin you're using. And like I said, Yoast has granular control over all of that. Okay. Brett Turner says, IFTTT troubleshooting question. Uh-oh. I had my first branded tier 1 setup. I tested with the YouTube upload and all was well. Yesterday when I uploaded a new video, the recipes failed, and I either got a no posting to the accounts or a missing link error message. Missing link. That's interesting. Any advice? The YouTube video is showing in the channel and seems okay. Thanks. Well, I don't know when the first time it was, Brett, that you posted. If it was before last week and now you're posting again, there was the change with Google authorization last week that's kind of wreaked a bit of havoc. We're still working it out 100%. We think we've got it figured out, but there's still some posting issues. What I would recommend, anytime that you have a problem with IFTTT not posting like it's supposed to, go reauthorize the channel. So go into IFTTT, go to channels, find the channel that's your trigger, and reauthorize it. And if that doesn't fix it, just go to edit channel, and then when you click edit channel, it'll ask to reauthorize. So in other words, it reconnects through the API back to that channel. Then try posting again. If it still doesn't post, then go reauthorize your action channels. Okay, but I always start with the trigger channel first because most of the time that's going to fix it. But then go reauthorize your action channels. Also, Brett, inside the IFTTT SEO Academy Facebook group, there's been some discussions over the last week about some of these authorization issues that have arisen since last week when Google changed their authorization methods. So if you go into the Facebook group and you start scanning the posts from the past week, you'll see a lot of like the fixes mentioned in the threads. Okay, and again, I'm going to be doing several update videos and adding them to the IFTTT training as the membership site over the next several days. It's very, very difficult right now for me to get them done, but as soon as I can, I'm going to add some videos that will kind of address some of these issues. Okay, just as soon as I can. Scott says, how do you suggest keeping your YouTube channel updated? If you're only adding 1 to 2 videos a month related to your niche, what is the best way to keep it updated so it starts to become an authority? Thanks. Add more videos.
Yeah, add more videos and wait longer. I mean, that's honestly your 2 options.
Yeah, I mean, add more videos. There's no reason why you can't just keep adding additional videos. Use your channel for lead gen stuff. Like if you don't have clients, for example, if you're doing it for client work and you're only getting 1 or 2 per month, then just start banging out some lead gen videos. Why not? Why not? Because throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Some of them are going to rank well, some won't. The ones that do, go monetize them.
Yeah, I would say that silo properly. You have access to the Silo Academy, Scott. So silo the channel properly, and if in doubt, just make more videos.
Yeah, not only that, but just log into it often. Yeah. And just log into that channel. So, like for example, we'll come up here and we'll go to YouTube. Let's say that it was this channel, which is I'm on Semantic Mastery now. So let's say that was it. Just log in, make sure you're actually at on that channel that you're talking about, and then just go watch a video or 2, like something, comment on something. Even that is going to help improve your channel authority. Doesn't necessarily have to be uploading videos. I recommend that. But if you for whatever reason don't want to add additional videos to your channel, for whatever that reason may be, then just log into that channel and be active in it. So watch, comment, that sort of thing. That will help your channel to gain authority. Okay. SEO Blink, or am I missing something?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. SEO Blink. I can't remember. Catherine, I think, right? Isn't it? Catherine?
Yeah, Kathy.
Kathy, she's in our MasterMInd. So I'm sorry, Kathy, if I don't SEO Blink. That's good enough. Scott Rogers, getting organized and displaying online tools. Okay, she was helping Scott. She uses RoboForm. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. LastPass all the way. Monique says, "What's up, Monique?" She's been very active in some of our forums. What is the best way to handle increasing a site's resources for heavier load plugins and themes? Well, you can put up a CDN. That's going to help with some of that stuff. Now, I don't know about resource-heavy stuff. Get a better server.
Yeah. Eventually you'll need to, if you're moving a lot of information, you'll need to upgrade to a VPS or something like that. Yeah. Eventually, and in some cases we had for some of our sites. So that's the way it is. Sometimes shared accounts and shared servers, and you can get VPSs, really decent VPSs, for the same amount of money that you are paying for a baby plan at some companies, Yeah. So at some cases you need to go that route because it gets heavier and heavier.
Yeah. She's asking about hard code that she could put in to increase resources. You can change the WP config file. the WP config file. It'll be in your public HTML folder, the root of the domain. You can change the host limits and things like that in there. But I would recommend that if you're going to do that, that you get with your hosting company and get one of the server techs to do it, because there's certain limitations that they're going to place on that anyways, and you don't want to go in there and play around with that unless you know what you're doing. But you can do that, but that's really just a temporary fix, because again, a lot of the times if you're having site resource issues, it's because your host is you're on a shared host and it's a shared server. So that means everybody has there's a set level of resources, and if there's other people that have heavy loads on it too, it's going to take away from your ability. So again, I would recommend going with a better host, a better server. Okay. I do not want to have this interference anymore. Then again, invest in a better server. That's my number one. Guys, servers are to me. I'd rather spend good money on a server, because it's going to improve your SEO too. By the way, guys, if you don't know that, if you got a site that goes down all the time, like your uptime's low, which a lot of the shared hosts have that problem, then that's actually going to affect your SEO too.
Oh yeah, that's funny that you mentioned it, Bradley, because I had a site of mine that it become we have been growing it, and it become unstable, and we checked on Google Webmaster Tool, and we had like really nice rankings, and it's started dropping like slowly and for no particular reason, and we checked on Google Webmaster Tool, and the 503 and 502 errors were like going up. Yeah. Like you could see the website going down, the rank tracker going down, and the errors going up on Google Webmaster Tool. So we moved that to timeout errors. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. And now we're moving it to a VPS, so that will be a nice case study. I will still testing it. The 500 errors are pretty much gone, so I can report on you like next week. But I thought that would be a pretty nice case study, because on the importance of speed and server response.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Says I use the all-in-one SEO pack, but changed to WordPress SEO by Yoast. Yeah, that can be resource heavy at times, depending, like sitemaps and stuff we were just talking about can do that. Can you help me fix my consistent irritant, not enough site power for executions? Yep, we just answered that. So go with a better host. If you've got a really big site, you're going to need a VPS. That's pretty much all that. Or go to cloud hosting. I mean, that can be expensive, but if you got a big site and it's producing revenue, it's just it's a cost of doing business, So. Roger says, if IFTTT members buy into the Done For You networks before the price increase, will that price hold for future purchases? Yeah. Well, no. The price increase, once it increases, it increases. I mean, you can buy them now if you want, and then tell us that you're not ready to build them. If you want to buy them ahead of time, that's fine. But once the price goes up, it goes up. If you're a MasterMIND member, the prices will hold for what they are now. But for everyone else, they're going to go up, and that's just because, like I said, the demand is going up. As we go public, so will the demand. You know what I mean? So that's why we're doing that, guys. That's pretty much it. So, but you can buy them now if you want, and then we'll build them when you're ready, if that's what you want to do.
All right. Just to clear that up, so if somebody's listening, I told someone the opposite earlier today.
What's that?
For load balancing in terms of the networks. So, just so that there's not two things going out there. So if that's how we want to do it, that's fine. But I had earlier told someone that they could not order because that would screw up our pipeline.
What do you mean, order now ahead of time?
Yeah, and say hold it, and then say until date X.
Oh well, I mean, honestly, I'm the one managing it. I don't really care. That's okay with me. If they want to do that, if they want to order them now, and then just the start date is a month from now, that's fine. Just note that in your order. And I'm managing that, so I'll take care of it. That's not a problem.
Yeah, and I think the caveat that we'll have to add to this, you guys, is that the delivery date could change depending on when you decide. Because if you order it, and let's say you order 2 networks and you aren't sure when you're going to want them, and then all of a sudden, a month and a half later, you order them and we're full, it might take a little bit longer. So just to, that could happen. That's a possibility.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
SEO Blink says, just want to clarify, am I setting up real accounts, not persona? If I am setting up real accounts, not persona, I'll just be adding a link to the company website in the Web2s. Yes, SEO Blink, Kathy, that's exactly right. We in the training I'd set it up with the Web2s, and we always link back to the blogger. But if you're setting up a branded network, you absolutely want the main blog or main website URL on all the profiles to be your money site. Okay. So absolutely, and I just assumed that was clear. Maybe I need to add a little update video in there for that. Scott says, if I have a YouTube playlist on my money channel and I want to share it on another channel, what's the easiest way to accomplish that? And if I add another video to the master playlist, does it populate all the shared lists automatically? I'm not sure, Scott. I know you can create playlists with other videos, but I don't know that you can share a playlist because I think you have to literally manually build that playlist in each account. Does anybody else have any idea on that?
I think that you can showcase a channel. You know, you can showcase a channel. You can have on your initial page, on your channel homepage, you can have a feature channel.
Right.
But I think that will be the uploaded videos, not the playlist. I'm not entirely sure about that.
Yeah, but I know. Let's go take a look at the playlist real quick. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I've seen that you can have feature channels. I am not entirely sure about the playlist.
Because like if I share this playlist right now, then I don't know. Even if I change my account, let's do this real quick. I'm just curious. I mean, I don't know. See, this is the playlist, but how do you like? I don't know how you add somebody else's playlist to where you also have that playlist on yours, other than to just save it. Maybe save the playlist. Maybe that's it. Okay, I've never done that. So now it's saved. So I wonder. I don't know. That's a good question, Scott. You'd have to play with it. Try it. Like I just now saved this one, and it went to my, and now it's saved to my because that came from Semantic Mastery, and now I saved it to Bradley Benner. So just play with it. I mean, after this Hump Day Hangouts is over, I'll add Hump Day Hangouts to the Semantic Mastery playlist and see if it updates the playlist on this profile, and then that'll answer your question. But when in doubt, guys, test.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just go and try it and see if it works. It works, and then report back. I'll let you guys know because now that I saved that here, when I add today's webinar to the playlist, I'll see if it updates it automatically. I'm assuming it would, but I don't know for sure.
It should if the playlist it's configured. Well, it should anyways. But if the playlist is configured to show the last video uploaded, then it will show on your channel for sure.
Yeah. And if a video on the original list is monetized, I assume the ads will play on the shared playlist. Yes, it will, because you set the monetization level at the point where in Video Manager. So whoever owns the video, they can choose to monetize the video, have it show ads or not. And if ads show, no matter where that video is, ads will show. Does that make sense? All the tutorials I found were not very helpful. So, I mean, I'll play with it and let you know, Scott. Like I said, I just added that, and so when I add from Semantic Mastery the Hump Day Hangout, if it updates, then great. Then that answers your question. I'll let you know. Monique says, please, Bradley, what are all of the YouTube link sources which actually give us link juice? I know some sources are duds for juiciness. Give us link juice. Well, they're all no-follow links, so I mean, but they still pass authority. They don't pass page rank, but they pass authority and they pass traffic, right? If somebody clicks on a link, it brings you traffic. There are no do-follow links out of YouTube anymore. It used to be that your channel, the channel URL, I'll show you what I mean. If we go to Creator Studio and we go to View Channel, it used to be that this link right here was the last known do-follow link in YouTube, and even now that's no follow. So there's do-follow links within YouTube to YouTube, but not YouTube to external sites. It's all no follow. Okay. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So they don't pass juice, but they do pass authority. Does that make sense? So, that's to answer your question. They're all duds for juiciness, Monique. But they do pass traffic and they do pass authority, so that's important. Monique says, awesome video you created on IFTTT SEO network building service. You have facilitated for people to leverage the collaboration you have with your partners. And she's just saying thanks. Yeah, you're welcome. Again, guys, the networks they're running pretty well now, as far as getting them out the door and everything else. So.
Sorry, Bradley. Regarding the previous question from Scott, I think we're getting confirmation that if you share your a playlist on your channel, then it will be auto updated when when the owner of the playlist adds a new video to that playlist. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll need to share that. Yeah.
Then I'll confirm the confirmation.
Yeah.
Later this afternoon, I'll confirm it, and then I'll jump back on this page, Scott, and @ mention you or plus mention you, and with my response as well. Rainer says, I live in Vancouver, British Columbia, and I want to see what someone in Winnipeg, Manitoba would see for a local search result on lawyers. I could not find a VPN service in Winnipeg, so using a VPN is not an option. How else can I view the SERPs as if I were in Winnipeg? That's a good question. I want to see what AdWords are showing up as viewed from Winnipeg. Honestly, that's a good question. I don't know, Rainer. I don't have an answer to that because I always just search with the geographic modifier, and that's as far as I go with it. Do you have any insight, Hernan? How do you force a search to see search results as if you were in a other location without a proxy or VPN? Is that possible?
No, I don't think it is, Rainer. To be honest, because the results will be based, and this is for AdWords, and I'm assuming that it is for organic as well. They are based on IP and the browser languages and the pages that you visited before. So they are based on IP first and then browser languages. So you can try and change your browser language to French or whatever you want to do. But yeah, you will still need a proxy or a VPN to fully. You can also try, well, if you're doing Canada, you can also try the /NCR operator, which would be google.ca/NCR. That's non-country restriction, you know. That's kind of an SSL certificate for Google, and you can try that's kind of a clean slate search. So I'll put it on the events page, but you can try that and see how it works. But I would still advise that you use an IP for that particular location.
The only other option would be to like connect to like the Tor network or something like that, so that you can actually search through somebody's node or desktop. You know what I mean? Like their connection in that city. But you can open up a whole can of worms that way too. So you know what I'm talking about? Like a Tor network. You know, one of those. I know. Then you can get very granular as which location you're browsing from. Yeah. But again, you've got to worry about all kinds of other issues when you do that kind of stuff.
And here, Roger Mavis, he says that there is I now remember that there is an add-on for Chrome that will localize your search, but it will do, you know, Google dot whatever extension /NCR, and then it would put your query over there. So you can change your location that way, but you will still need an IP to fully fake because some stuff won't joke correctly anyways.
Right. David Taylor says playoff beard. So I'm assuming that's like we're going to have a beard battle, Adam?
Oh, yeah, it's on.
I concede. Adam wins. Like, I wouldn't be able to live with myself for that long. Just would be itchy for me. So, but anyways, we're going to answer about 2 more questions, and then we're going to wrap it up, guys, because we got to start masterclass in about 8 minutes. Robbie says, I need clarification for the advanced RSS method. Is it necessary to do this if I plan on only using YouTube for syndication? No, not at all, Robbie. You could that's. I mean, it will improve the power of your syndication network. So, like your tiered networks, if you do the advanced RSS Academy training, it's just going to increase the power of that. But it's not necessary. You don't have to do that for any of it. All that does is it just helps to boost the power of your networks. That's it. Also, as an affiliate marketer using one channel to promote products across multiple niches, what type of related RSS feeds would you recommend, if any? I probably wouldn't. What I would do then is I would use like playlists and things like that to syndicate content to specific networks that were themed better, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? There's a way to get a playlist feed, right? Yeah, there is. I know there is. I just don't know what it is off the top of my head. Anthony Hayes has a feed creator that will create playlist feeds. I know Marco showed that, and somebody else showed it inside the Facebook group. So if you're inside the Facebook group, post that question. But what I would recommend is if you're using one channel and you're multiple topics, then I would be siloing my channel anyways with playlists, so that you're compartmentalizing those themes or those topics, right? And keeping because you're going to get a lot more power out of your channel that way, trust me. And so then what I would do is I would have theme-specific networks too that I would feed with those specific playlists instead, if that makes sense. Okay. Because if you're going broad, then you're going broad. You can still increase the power of your networks if they're broad, just like general type networks, but they will be less effective overall.
Yeah, okay. Unless that you go like internet marketing feeds and something that's not competitive, like, I don't know, TechCrunch or Lifehacker, those kind of things, you know, that they are promoting apps and those kind of things. But yeah, I would still do the theming a bit more closely.
Okay, I got two more I'm going to answer really quick, and I'm going to have to stop. So we're going to answer Robbie's next question and then the one for Ganti as well, and then we're going to wrap it up, guys. Robbie says, I have 3 persona networks, and I'm thinking of adding a secondary Tier 1 network because I've heard you mention it helps with ranking quicker. Can you explain the benefits of a secondary Tier 1 a little bit more? Yeah, the only difference is that I've seen faster ranking results with more Tier 1 links, but they tend to not stick as well. As far as like ranking a video, they tend to not. If all I have is, for example, if I have a YouTube channel and I've got 5 Tier 1 networks, right, and they're all Tier 1 networks that I'm posting to, then I've seen fast results with ranking the video, but a lot of the times the video doesn't stick unless I continue to boost it with more links or more social signals, or preferably more social engagement, like real views, and that sort of thing. Or else the videos will start to fall sooner. What I found with the tiered networks, however, is that it might take longer for them to rank, but they tend to stick longer. And that's just, guys, it's not a hard and fast rule. There's always the randomness of everything that we do. But I've just seen a tendency for that to be the case. So adding additional or secondary Tier 1 networks to your YouTube channel, you may see a faster boost with the rankings. But I recommend the tiered networks for longer-term strategy. Okay? And then also remember, guys, boost your networks. So in other words, constantly be making your network stronger. And one way to do that is to build links to your networks. We offer a service for that. It doesn't have to be our service. You can do it yourself with SendWire or FCS Networker. GSA, if it's a YouTube channel, I wouldn't run GSA to a network, a Tier 1 network, if it's going to your money site. But you could do it if it's a YouTube channel. So there's a million services out there you could use. We do have a network boosting service. If you're interested in that, you're going to get better results that way.
Sorry, Bradley. If you're using GSA, I've come across this list provider that's called GrindList. I've been using it for, this is just a quick shout out to those guys because I've been using their list for quite a while now, and I'm really happy with the results.
Very cool.
Yeah, so just a quick shout out to them.
One more from Ganti, and that's it. We're done. I have 10 dedicated proxies from buyproxies.org, I think. Well, box proxies. Maybe there is a box proxies. My question is, can I use these proxies at the same time from 2 different places? One place I want to use is for keyword programs in my desktop, and the second place I want to use is from remote desktop, which is geographically located hundreds of miles from my hometown. Yeah, I think so. I know because I've, the proxies that I provide my VAs in the Philippines, I've had to use them at times, and there's probably times that we've both been logged into the same proxy. I would give it a shot, Ganti. See, just make sure that you've cleaned your footprint if that's what you're worried about. Other than that, give it a shot. Okay. Okay. Well, that was as many as we could get to, guys, today. It was pretty busy. So it was a good Hump Day Hangouts, episode number 26, guys. 6 months, nonstop, not even one freaking week off. So
that's so cool.
Shout out to Clint Butler. I just saw he was up here, and he's from, it looks like, from Olympia. I'm headed out to his neck of the woods. So what's up, Clint?
Cool. Cool. All right, guys. Well, masterclass starts in about 3 minutes. So those of you that are masterclass members, we'll see you in just a minute. Otherwise, the rest of you guys, we'll see you all next week on same bat time, same bat channel, all that stuff.
Awesome. See you, everybody.
All right, guys. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.